Monday morning meeting. I am your host, Bill Noble. What's the Monday morning meeting? Well, it's like at Wall Street where everyone will get to work like 15 minutes early, right? And they'd all go in a big conference room and we'd have a big meeting. Everybody would bring their ideas from all the financial press they read over the weekend, and you'd have like a morning meeting. So for our morning meeting, what are we going to talk about? Well, we're going to talk about New York City and possibly the greatest crypto catalyst anyone has ever seen. We're also going to talk about, ready? We're going to talk about why the market is actually down today. June 30th, last day of the quarter, last day of the month. Well, it's called tax loss selling. It's called hedge funds going, I don't want to play anymore. It's called everyone stopping out of what they bought on Saturday. Everybody's packing their bags. Everyone's packing their bags and going home for the American July 4th holiday. Now, as you've heard from me before, you already heard this, but I'm going to say it again. Crypto market loves to do huge moves. Loves to do huge moves over the 4th of July holiday. Loves it. Or any holiday, really, in America. By the way, feel free to comment down below if the volume works for you. I'm trying to get this mic right. Now, when you have a decline like this, it discourages people, particularly in a generally down market, right? Everyone except Michael Saylor, right? Michael Saylor's making money, no one else is. Okay, and everybody thinks that because, you know, the crypto bros in the White House are into it, that we're all making tons of money. We're not. We're not. However, this could change. Consider the following. Arbitrum's got a partnership, or rumored to have a partnership with Robinhood. Coin's up 40%. You look at the chart, you can't even tell it was up 40%. That's how destroyed it is. And of course, that goes for all altcoins. All of them. Now, you also have a catalyst out of New York City. Okay, you ever heard buy the rumor, sell the fact? Okay, let me give you a rumor to buy, not investment advice. This guy who's running for mayor, won't use his name, but there's a guy running for mayor, okay, who's on the far left, right? And he's even getting kind of confrontational in the culture war, let's put it that way. So he says, you know what? We shouldn't have billionaires. And all you people in this neighborhood, yeah, okay, you, and you should not have $1 billion. So you shouldn't be a billionaire. You shouldn't be a millionaire. Who knows where that goes? And naturally, he's got every incentive to be super inflammatory on the tape to where wealthy New Yorkers have to go, should I get on chain? What percentage of my money is in crypto? 0. Okay, we have Bull Runner here. Welcome. Lee J. Jay Burbank. Felix, welcome to the show. The Monday morning meeting. That's what we're calling it. Right? Back Wall Street days, it's the Monday morning meeting. Everybody would read Barron's Wall Street Journal, come in, talk about what the game plan is for the market for that week. So it's like market update, monologue, with a little extra stuff. Like how depressing it was to wake up and look at this thing with all coins down 5%. I mean, I was like super bullish on Saturday. I was like, yeah, that was the first stream of this kind, right? Solana summer. And I still think that, right? Because fast moving instruments, you know, the ability to be fast and private will be a premium item for no other reason that the Circle trade and Coinbase trade spreads out and this guy in New York City. You don't have to like him. You don't have to not like him. But he's going to put crypto and privacy on the map. He's going to put it on the map. And everyone is going to come in all at once. And what a great time to come in all at once is on a thin July 4th holiday after everyone's sold. Now, the counter argument, which is what you also do in a Wall Street morning meeting, right? Some people are bullish, some people are bearish, and everyone lays out their argument, right? So the bearish argument is going to be some sort of geopolitical catalyst over the weekend. That's the big rumor, right? And of course, announced conflicts and things like that don't happen. If there's going to be a conflict or a problem, it's never announced. It comes out of nowhere. Like the last conflict, the 12-day conflict, yeah, that started out of nowhere. So what can come out of nowhere this time? How about a crypto rally, right? GME Kitty is here. Fuzz Crypto, what's up, right? This is the dip before the rip. It certainly could be, man. It certainly could be. Now, when you look at the charts, Solana still looks like a bottom. I'm okay with Solana. It looks like a bottom. I think you have to start looking at XRP, and let's have an XRP laugh, right? So some guy makes an AI picture of Ripple CEO Brad Garlinghouse with an XRP tattoo, at which point Brad Garlinghouse responds 1,000%. So naturally, superstitious me, as soon as I saw the tattoo and 1,000%, I'm like, okay, well, the market's going to go down. Because every time we have a Super Bowl commercial or an F1 commercial or Coinbase sponsors an army parade, down. And that's fine, right? It's always good to correct speculative excess. Oh, always good. But if you start thinking about maybe the supply shock in Bitcoin coming around the corner, maybe you start thinking about, hey, this whole made in America crypto thing, like they've made a lot of big promises. Wouldn't it be interesting if they made good on some of those big promises right around July 4th? We also have James Wynn, who I think is a total psyop, coming in and getting short Bitcoin, making everyone bearish, right? Everyone copy trading this guy, only to have it turn around and flip and go up, potentially. Not today, maybe. Potentially. Now, let's talk about potentially. We got to talk about Stonks. Stonks is unbelievable because, like, the Stonks spokesperson really is my old boss from Goldman. Like, I used to give him chart work, and he used to talk to hedge fund clients with some of my chart work, right? He obviously had other sources, but now he's kind of like a zero hedge star. Now that Zero Hedge is paying Goldman to get their hedge fund commentary, it's so funny to me, right? But everybody at Goldman and everyone in equities is trying to figure out why the heck this thing is making new high. So of course, the ultimate indignity for crypto, right? Crypto up Saturday, crypto crashes Sunday night, with equities making a new high because government debt is now bullish for everything. Or bullish for equities, right? End of the world, now it's bullish, right? Fear, greed at zero. Fear, greed is, oh, I don't know what it is, but I can tell you what's happening in equities. Everyone is bearish still, okay? And they're not long, which is why the market is forced to go higher to an all-time high. Okay, and I'm gonna tell you why this is relevant to crypto, don't worry. Now, when you have equities ramping like this on forced buying, it could be a preview for crypto. Meaning only 22 stocks have made new highs when the stock market made an all-time high. So they're panicking to such a degree that all of the money is moving into just 22 stocks. Not all the money, but the new all-time highs are 22 stocks. Now I ask you this, if the S&P 500 is making new highs, if everyone is getting forced in and they've only got 22 ideas for much higher prices, doesn't that mean there could be trades elsewhere? Like Bitcoin, like ETH, like XRP, the volume for these ETFs, the futures contracts, I mean, that are going to be in ETFs, they're exploding. And supposedly crypto funding rates, right, for derivatives in things like XRP and ETH are flashing bullish, meaning people are either leaning bearish, right, or they interpret the data as like there's green shoots of people doing long positions. Meanwhile, back at the sentiment ranch, Beeple puts out a cartoon that shows that ETH is never going to move from 2,500. It's kind of like stuck there. And of course, you can't blame them The whole market's been stuck. Every big cap's been stuck. Solana hasn't gone anywhere in over a year. XRP went up 400% and did nothing, to the point where the media's got to like make up XRP news, right? Like XRP news is such a void that we got to have a fake AI tattoo. That's XRP news. That's XRP news now. Okay, what happens when there's real XRP news? I ask you that. The tattoo is a sentiment trap. The real XRP news could be coming. I don't think anyone has necessarily figured this out. I haven't. They have not figured out that there are so many upside catalysts. Now let's talk about the Fed. Let's talk about the Fed. Let's still have an off-the-cuff conversation about the Fed. Okay. So everyone's like, well, the Fed shouldn't cut. All these institutional guys, JP Morgan, all the stock guys are like, this is irresponsible. It's political pressure. No, it's not, bro. You have got an entire swath of the population that is absolutely wiped out. People can't afford housing. People can't afford food. So they got to cut rates. It's priced in that they're going to cut rates 3 times. They're going to do it. They have to do it. Or you're going to have a large swath of the population done. Not to mention the fact that there's a huge bid for crypto out of Asia because they figured out how to solve their population problem. So America gets rate cuts. That's why Stonks are making a new high, really, other than the fact that everyone's bearish. Now, what happens when this whole thing about like, let's save the bottom half of the income group, right? Because there's no employment growth, right? This will eventually show up in statistics and the Fed will figure it out. The Fed will figure it out, and then what happens? Then that bid has got to move to crypto. And the perfect time to talk about it is when you're having this dark day and you feel, which I did. I'm telling you, I looked at this thing, I'm like, oh my God, what am I ever going to talk about? What am I going to say? This thing, like, it's never going to go up ever in our lifetime. I mean, people put out a cartoon like they don't know what they're doing, which is now a song, with a crypto trader looking at red squares and bubbles on a heat map. So if you're frustrated and you're annoyed, I get it. Mojo 5925 is here. Welcome, Felix. How come the stock market is where the real altcoin season is? I should have bought Stonks instead. Okay, well, AI is going to wind up a huge chunk of the stock market, right? So the amount of money that these corporations are going to spend to get what one guy calls AI reasoning up and running, the amount of money that they're going to invest in this can create an equity market bid organically. However, at the moment where you ask yourself, oh yeah, I should have done stocks. Crypto's no good. That's when you get the out of nowhere catalyst. It's either that or we're done till Labor Day. I really don't want to think that way. I mean, there's been an AI deployment for smart contracts. There's also been an email from Google where Google's told you that AI is going to take over the apps on your phone. So thanks for buying a phone, but we're going to have AI manage your apps now. How about them apples? Any reason to get on chain here? Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Dudwort 19 liking the content. Thank you. This is, by the way, this is the live morning meeting where we just kind of talk about what we expect for the day and what's our general market view. Now, you'll be shocked to know that I'm very interested in buying other people's despair, right? At the moment where people give up, that's where you get involved. Now, for crypto people, remember, equities close at 3. So for equities, July 1st starts at like 4 p.m. Eastern. Now, for crypto, it's obviously not over yet, right? We got the whole day to go. But a lot of times, if you're experiencing everyone buying equities, because no one can look bearish with all-time highs. So they have to buy whatever stocks are up. It's called window dressing. And in crypto, you might have reverse window dressing where people are like, oh my God, I can't show I had this on my books. I got to sell. Or it's just tax loss selling, right? People lost money, hedge funds lost money, whatever. They're just puking out the losers. Or everybody got levered long on Saturday, thinking Solana up 5% was the start of Solana ETF summer. Okay. But when you look at it, when you look at quarter end, best to do it without the charts. Quarter end, options expiration, month end. When I was a professional technical analyst at Wall Street, just take the day off. Take the day off. Whatever's going on has nothing to do with charts. It's got to do with all these big players shifting money around. And that's what's going on in Stonks, right? Like they're wrapping a narrative around the Stonks rally. People just got too bearish and now there's forced buying at the end of a quarter. And now people are like, oh, wow, government debt is great for the economy. The orange man wants to, we're going to grow out of our problem by borrowing even more money so we can grow. Meanwhile, Ray Dalio was like, government debt was the end of the world. That was April. That was early in the quarter. So early in the quarter, it was the end of all finance because government bonds were going to get nuked. Now, and then we went to World War Z, and now we're going to, oh, wow, debt's bullish. Everything's fine. It's great. Yeah, okay. It's perfect. Except for the fact that, Wall Street has a little bit of a problem with the little, leadership race out there. And people may have to start asking themselves. That's all it takes. I don't care what he's doing in the polls. I don't care. I don't care who wins. I don't. What I care is he's on the tape every day and he has an incentive to continue to get more extreme and scare people because he's getting a huge amount of attention. It's an attention game. I'm in the attention game. Hi, thanks for giving me attention. Lee J is here, right? Jay Burbank, a member, by the way. Yes, if you're on the big YouTube channel or I don't know, on the Square YouTube channel, whatever you want to call it, you can become a YouTube member. You can join. It's on the main site. We also have Patreon. Join the Spartans. I have to make a living. So I do a lot of that on the mainstream. But on this one, like I said, it's the morning meeting. So we just kind of, we just kind of talk about it. We kind of like, and then of course you can let me know in the content down below if you just like the, kind of the off the cuff 20-minute, let's chit chat about it, right? Crypto, AI. By the way, speaking of crypto and AI, just a reminder, what do you think machines are going to use? Right? AI reasoning, AI agents inside, dApps, smart contracts. What are they going to use? Right? It's obviously going to be crypto based. Right? And everybody is tripping over themselves to sell. They're selling in the present and ignoring the future. They're ignoring the future. Okay, so let's talk about some top coins. Arbitrum has to be on the list. So does ETH and Optimism, right? This is a race as to whose business development group can go out and get deals, honestly. Caspa or Injective, right? Any of these layer ones that started the bull market. That's SEI, that's Injective, Caspa, all these things. Like, oh my God, it's so hot. All these YouTube influencers, like I'm a Caspa maximalist. You don't hear one word about it. Not one word. And there are so many plays in real world assets. Like, I'll tell you the craziest thing. Want to hear the craziest thing here all day? I got a business partner who wants to buy Ohm, the thing that was down 90% on some scandal. Because once the stablecoin trade kicks off and everyone gets done selling at the end of the quarter, people are going to wake up on July 1st and go, wait a minute, right? And again, remember, just the thing about July 4th, right? New York City is done. Like the New York area, that whole financial district, they're gone. They're going to the beach. Like, they want to trade today to square up their books. They're not going to do any trading tomorrow, and they want to get to the beach. They want a full week off. So they're not going to, by Wednesday, it's going to be crickets. No volume, right? Because they're going to have Friday off, Saturday off, Sunday off, and a whole bunch of guys are going to take Monday off too. Because I used to work there. That's exactly what I do. Oh, July 4th is like a Friday-ish, I think. Let's take Monday off. So a 4-day weekend. We'll go to the beach. Okay. Well, you go to the beach, and this mayor can get on the tape and say something. Or the orange man could drop a July 4th Bitcoin reserve, strategic wealth fund. Surprise. The czar said it's going to be a big month. Hey, how about July 4th? Let's do it. Okay, so I'm drinking a little Kool-Aid. I'm having a little Kool-Aid with my coffee. I don't mind saying it. I don't mind saying it over and over again. If you get bearish this stuff, right, and you miss kind of like the initial launch. Now, I don't know when the initial launch is. It could be July 4th, right? I mean, we're expecting, we got like a Gann date that we've been telling, you know, like the YouTube members and Patreon and stuff like that. I don't want to miss the Gann date. I don't want to miss any potential turn because I'm depressed. Right? We talk more about, you know, how I feel about things on this show, this big show, which I'm making up on the fly, by the way. Right? In other words, you look at this thing, and I'm like, I looked at this thing last night, and I'm like, what am I going to talk about? what am I going to talk about? Then I see the market getting slammed. I'm like, okay, well, that's super depressing. I don't even know if I want to talk about it. And then I see like the New York City mayor headlines, right? And I see Michael Saylor queuing it up to buy. And you see a whole bunch of stuff out of Hong Kong, right? Chinese want to buy out of Hong Kong, huh? Japanese are cutting taxes on crypto, huh? They must watch the show, right? In other words, it's like you got a population problem in like South Korea and Japan. Excellent. Let's get a bunch of crypto bros running around with money. I mean, there's a huge incentives for governments to moon this. And wouldn't it be funny if this was some kind of like trap where they dropped it and then big institutions come in and start hoovering it up? Okay. Big Daddy Crypto is here, I remember, for 6 months. Don't miss buying Deep Book. That's where he's at. Wild West YT. What are your thoughts on TAO? Do you think it can lead the crypto AI race? Yes, and I'll tell you why. If you look up DePin on something like Lunar Crush, TAO shows up. TAO. Are we back? Comment if we're back. All right, I'm just going to keep talking. I can't remember what I was talking about. Okay, it's TAO and the AI race. All right, I'm getting there. If you look up DePin, you get PAL and TAO. If you look up AI and DeFi, I think you definitely get PAL. You may also get TAO as well. This AI crypto trade has to start with some kind of catalyst out of nowhere. I would call it a DeepSeek moment. I mean, there doesn't have to be. We could just all sit here while the Stonks guys hog up the whole trade. I mean, some guy last week, I watched a podcast where some guy thinks that 75% of the total worth in the stock market will be connected to AI in the near future. So it's like AI stocks and everything else. Like Bitcoin is 60% of our market. They think AI is going to be 75% of the stock market. Now, you know, if that happens, well, you know, F me. Somebody's got to come into the decentralized universe, and you don't know, it could be a bunch of Web 2 guys. I mean, I think XRP is clear, Ripple's definitely going to get taken over. I think that's obvious to me. It's obvious. Ripple's going to get taken over. And then they might start investing in some of these decentralized AI products. You don't know. Like, for example, how can you have the metaverse without AI DeFi? How can you have finance? How can you have the metaverse and not have finance? How, you know, is there going to be a Chase Bank in the metaverse? Right? So all these things sit there and are destroyed, and we're all discouraged, and I get it, man. I mean, it's just like, you know, in some ways I do something, I pull up a chart, I'm like, don't need the chart. It's destroyed. It's destroyed until everybody realizes that they need to get on chain. Because again, this New York City thing, and I keep coming back to that, there's this New York City thing, which has got national attention. And yes, we did look at TIG, right? I mistakenly referred to as a gaming coin. I'm sorry. It's actually an AI algorithmic play. Okay, well, we never met an AI algorithmic play that we didn't like. It's just that the charts of all these things are just, oh my God. They look absolutely horrible. Now, here's something funny. There's like two headlines, okay? Wendy O for this weekend says, huge Bitcoin battle while crypto and AI versus tech stocks. Crypto AI versus tech stocks. Good headline for Wendy O. Seriously. I mean, oh my God, she talks all day. Like, she is unbelievable. Then the next one underneath that, CNBC, Trump's big, beautiful bill clears the hurdle. It's amazing. The same exact thing was the end of the world, end of America, end of finance, end of Congress, and end of the Orange Man and MAGA. Now the stock market's making a new high, and magically they got it all turned around. Right? Do you remember at the bottom, all the Wall Street banks calling for a recession? It's amazing how price action changes everyone's mind. It's amazing. Okay, which is an important thing. This is the final note. The final note for crypto is that now the price action is negative. But all it needs is one positive catalyst, and all of a sudden, everybody will discover all these bullish catalysts, like, the stablecoin trade spreads out to XRP and Solana. Right? Bitcoin supply shock. ETH is undervalued, right? It only takes a couple of big updates. That's what it needs, a couple of big updates, up days in a row. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we appreciate you joining us. The real market update later on today. We will see you soon.